Guys, we got a really cool video today. Here's what we're doing. Okay, so we're going through a fitting process with every brand.
Yeah.
So we can, I think accurately tell you at home. We're making the investment so we can tell you at home which one we think is the best for mid-handicappers like us. So far, we're fitted for 3 brands. We have PXG Gen 6. We have the Mizunos, and we have the Srixons. So we've been fitted for all 3 brands. We have different clubs within the product lines on one brand anyway. And we're gonna tell you about that, but we're gonna get them in the simulator, tell you which one is our favorite out of the 3 so far. But stay tuned because our top 5 videos coming once the other brands actually get us dialed in.
And this is just irons, right?
Just irons.
Just irons for these brands.
Mid-handicap reviews, let's roll. All right, don't forget if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, come to our showroom. We can get fitted here, check out all of our golf equipment, check out our awesome barbecue channel. We'll include links below. If you're new, subscribe, do all the things. Also, we have an awesome giveaway. We do a giveaway once a video. Stay tuned for that giveaway. But here's the thing. I think when we get into the simulator, the answer is really gonna surprise you on what irons are the winners.
Yeah, I agree.
We might have different answers too.
I think so.
We've been off camera debating this, and I have a strong feeling we're gonna have different answers.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get started, we both got fitted for Gen 6 Players irons, the P series, as a mid-handicapper, not the Tour series. We both got fitted for the Srixon ZX5s, which again are the middle of the lineup.
Yeah.
And then we also got fitted for Mizuno. However, this is where we differed. Tate's a better player than me. He's a 10 handicap. I'm a 15-ish. I'm in the Hot Metal Pros. I have a lot of thoughts on that. We'll be talking to you about it as we do each one. Tate
you got some very strong thoughts about that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
All of them, really.
Yeah.
So let's start, and then Tate's
in the
Mizuno
Pro 225s.
Pro 225s, which is honestly a sexier club. It feels better. It's softer, but it's harder to hit.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not currently in them. But that certainly would be a good goal because they are attractive.
Yeah, I think fantastic.
Okay, let's start with looks. Which one do you like the looks of the best out of the 3 irons? We'll give you some close-ups on this.
Okay, so as you look at all 3 of your setup.
Of my setup, I have the Hot Metal Pros. So I think it's easy for me to say the Gen 6. The Gen 6 are very, very attractive.
Yeah.
However, well, no, I'm in the Hot Metal Pros. I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For me, the Gen 6, they did a fantastic job, R&D.
Yeah.
But if from just a classic golf standpoint, watching guys on tour play, the 225 is the hotter play, I think.
Especially now that new limited edition black model.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll show you some looks of that.
Yeah.
That might be the most attractive club I've seen.
Yeah. Chris dropped some overlay of that bad boy. Actually, we have a set for sale.
Yeah, I was going to say, we still have a couple sets left of the limited edition. I would say for me, the second best looking is the Srixon.
Yeah.
And aesthetically, I'm not a huge fan of the Hot Metal Pros. I shouldn't say that. They look great, but they don't, out of the 3, they're not my favorite.
Yeah, they don't scream at you.
But they're really good clubs, which we'll get into. Second best for you?
Mine ranking top best to worst is going to go, not worst, just least favorite of the 3, is going to go Pro 225s, Gen 6 Players, Srixon ZX5.
Yeah. So we're going to hit 10 shots of each. Here's the thing. We're not looking for distance.
No.
The distance winner is not the winner.
No.
Here. And
distance
we'll talk about
plays
that
a
in
role,
second.
data plays a role, but feel and confidence is also a huge thing. So one might win data-wise, but it might not be the one you want standing on the tee box.
Yep. Consistency, forgiveness, that's all going to come into play. All right, let's sticker them up and see what happens.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the Hot Metal Pro. This was the very first set I got fitted with. Really, really liked them, still do. Here's one thing we need to point out is not all irons are created equal in the sense of their loft.
What do you mean by that?
What do I mean by loft?
Yeah.
So the loft is how strong the club is this way or this way. So each brand does a different loft.
Which is going to affect what?
Yardage, spin rate, launch angle. It affects
huge.
everything.
That's huge.
So typically the way it works is less forgiving clubs are lower launch. So tour players play a 34-degree 7-iron. The more forgiving the club, usually the stronger the loft is, because if you suck, you need more yardage.
Yeah, you're not hitting it as far. That makes sense.
So The hot metal is the strongest lofted out of the 3.
Really?
So
Out of your 3.
out of my 3.
Got it.
And out of yours.
My Mizuno?
Yeah. So they're the strongest lofted, which means I guarantee you they're going to go the furthest.
Yeah.
So that's not what we're after. I have some hots on the some thoughts
Nice.
on the hot metal. I have a hot take on the hot metal material, who it's good for, who it's not good for, because I'm going to show you something. I think it will show up in the data here. So let me get my 10 shots in with the hot metal, and I'll give you my thoughts on the hot metal. So by the way, talking about lofts, this is a 28.5 degree loft. So I'm a 1/2 inch long, extra stiff shaft, heavier shaft, and I did 2 degrees weaker because especially in Colorado, we don't need that strong of a loft. So we're hitting that altitude, so they're gonna really, the ball's gonna go far anyway. So this is at 30.5 degrees, this 7-iron. Jordan 11s, yeah. Jordan 11 lows.
Give us a little show of those bad boys.
There you go. That's a good one. Just pulled it. Okay, there's my 10 shots. Something very curious about the hot metals. You have to stay till the end. I'm going to tell you exactly what I suspected would happen, what I thought would happen, did happen. And I have some thoughts about it. I'll get to you here in a bit. Tate, you're up.
Hot take on the hot metals. Okay, here we go. Trevor started with Mizuno. I'll start with Mizuno too. Mizuno as well. I got the Pro 225. Chris, see if you can get a good look at this. I mean, that just looks like a player's club. Just looks good. I got my Jordan 1 lows, pinks on. All right, 10 shots. Here we go. That's a good one. There we go. That's the standard.
Okay, now I'm going to hit the Srixon next. My thoughts on the Srixon. So the Mizuno was 28.5 degrees, weakened to 30.5 degrees. Now there's 2 reasons I weaken them. One is because we're in Colorado and the ball goes plenty far, so I don't need the yardage. And 2, I have a really low ball flight with low spin. So I need to get the ball more in the air, which you'll hear me talk about in the conclusion, is more important to me than just yardage, because that's gonna, and believe it or not, actually getting the ball in the air can help it stay in the air longer and actually gain yardage. So the Srixon stock comes at 31 degrees. So I weakened it to 33. So you're thinking 30.5 to 33, that's 2.5 degrees weaker. That's almost half a club. So I'm expecting the stats to be a lot different between the 2 clubs, and that's okay. But at the end, I'm gonna tell you what my target numbers should be and which club is hitting my target numbers the closest. So 10 shots with the Srixons. Of course, we're gonna talk about forgiveness, how that plays a pack, what we like standing over the clubs, everything like that. Oh, that's in the hole.
Oh. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
We got the Srixon ZX5. Let's get our 10 in. Oh.
Did you change your player,
Yeah.
your club?
Yeah. Last one.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, that Srixon, when you find the sweet spot,
Talk to the camera.
it's awesome. It's phenomenal. The other caveat to this is you could give Trevor any of these 3 bags, give myself any of these 3 bags to tee off with tomorrow, and we'd be able to perform with all 3. One may be better than the others.
I'm doing this one next, by the way. Sorry,
PXG Gen
Sorry,
6.
I didn't mean to interrupt your take.
But you know what I mean? So for you out there, if you're going between these 3 brands, they're all fantastic irons. But this is why it's so important to important to go through this process yourself, because each brand, even fitted to you, is going to play different for each individual player.
Yeah. I mean, we could take all 3 bags out and go low.
Yeah. Or we could take all 3 bags out and go high.
I was going to save this to the end. I think these are the 3 best irons in golf for mid-handicappers.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
You got 2 that are Japanese forged, and 1 made by Mr. Parsons.
Yeah.
And spares no expense with his R&D.
And there's that guy out there that's like, no, the T100 Titleists are the best ever. Yeah, but you're probably a +4. We're talking about mid-handicappers, everyday golfers. I don't think you'll be able to beat any of these 3 brands.
No. Okay, so now it's time for PXG. So the PXG is very different in the sense that it's the only, out of the 3 we're hitting, it's the only hollow-bodied gel foam filled club. So I'm already going to tell you, I'm going to let a little cat out of the bag. It is the softest of the 3 because it's the gel foam fill. I also have a hot take on that coming up.
I know what that hot take is. Good thing you said that, because I was going to say it right now. You
so
lost it?
other hollow body gel foam are going to be like the TaylorMade Speed Foams.
Yep.
Puma has one.
Yep.
Ping has one.
Yep.
PXG has one. So this is the 30 degree. Same thing. I de-lofted it to 32 degrees. And so it's in the middle. It's not as strong as the hot metal. It's not as weak as the Srixon. It's right in the middle.
Yep.
All right, dial me up for 10.
You're ready.
Oh. Oh my. Wasn't expecting that.
Oh my. Man, John. All right, guys. Trevor just finished up his Gen 6. That's going to conclude his 3. We'll go over data in a second. I still have my Gen 6 to hit. Here's the thing for me. If you've watched our previous iron comparison videos, the PXG iron set completely changed my game. The Gen 5 came out, got fitted for that last summer, and dropped my handicap down to like a 5.7 for a little bit. It was riding in those single digits. Blew out my knee surgery, all that stuff. Now I'm back up hovering around 10, but PXG has always done me perfect, done me right. So I have a suspicion that this one's going to perform the best, even though, stay tuned to the end, I don't know that it's necessarily the one I want. Let's throw it in. Let's go.
See. Not too much.
All right, 200 yards, 7 iron, PXG Gen 6. You just know what it's going to do.
Okay, Tate. So when Tate was just hitting his PXGs, he gave me a look, and I said, you know what you have to do. And what did you say?
I said, I know what I have to do. I just don't know if I'm strong enough to do it.
So you're basically saying trying to decide what iron to play is as big of an issue as Kylo Ren deciding if he needs to murder his father or not. Mm-hmm. It's that stressful. It's weighing on you that heavy.
Yeah, like killing Han Solo. Star Wars Episode 7, I think it was.
You would be the most hated person in the world if you killed Han Solo.
Kylo Ren was the most hated person in the world until he redeemed himself and killed Senator Palpatine.
What if people haven't watched it?
They don't need to watch it now. I already told them.
Is he really dead?
Senator Palpatine's never dead.
What's a Palpatine?
Do it. I don't know. It's a Sith Lord.
What's a Sith?
A Sith?
Is that like from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's a nasty lisp, yeah.
Okay. Just aesthetically, before we get to the data, standing over the top of them.
Yeah, the Mizuno Pro 225.
Looks the best.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Tommy Fleetwood. I feel like I'm just got the purest iron swing in the game standing over it. That club looks like a blade. It's not, but it looks like it.
I would say I like the Srixon. I feel like it has the thinnest top profile for me.
Okay.
Standing over the top of it. But I like all 3. Now, let's talk about feel before we look at the data. Which one feels the best coming off the ball? Just say it.
The PXG Gen 6.
So I will say this, too. Here's my hot take on the hollow-bodied, foam-filled clubs. Relax. We didn't spoil anything. So tell them why. It's the foam-filled, so it's the what?
It's the softest. It
Easily
engineered from a completely material standpoint, it is the softest.
Yes, and I would agree with that. And in a way, it almost feels the most forgiving because whether you're hitting it here, or even here,
Go a little higher.
or here,
Yeah. And then
Or
a little
here.
lower. Yeah.
or here,
Yeah.
or here,
Tell the audience why
it all feels
we
this.
don't like that.
No, you love it.
I love it. I
Here's
love
what-
the feel of the PXG.
Oh, I love the feel of it too, but here's what I don't like about that. With how soft it feels, it definitely feels the softest. And I would say almost borderline the most forgiving. We'll look at the data and see which one's the most off center
Yeah.
on the mishits. Now this is controversial, but I almost don't like that because here, when we're in the studio, I can look at the data and be like, oh, I know I towed it, or I know I heeled it. And with the other clubs, you can get that from a feel standpoint. You can feel it coming off the
You
toe.
know where your miss was
You know where you missed it.
based on feel.
Everything feels the same on this. So when you're out on the course, now maybe that day you're a little toey, you can't tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
You
it all
can,
feels the
but
same.
The average golfer is not going to.
No, it all feels the same
Yeah.
to me. And if I'm being honest, and I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but it feels sticky. You know what I mean? Like, it's not sticky, but like everything just feels a little squishy.
Yeah. I
you
can
know?
see that.
And I feel like it doesn't give me the feedback I need to improve or self-correct when I'm on the golf course.
Yeah.
As
Or
good
know
as it
what to
feels.
work on after the round.
As good as it feels. Now, in the studio, we have all the data right on the screen, and I can tell exactly what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
But on the course, you can't self-correct. But the other two models, I can feel it coming off the toe. I can feel it coming off the heel.
Yeah.
And I know, all right, I can self-correct here a little bit. That's just my take on the feel of it. All right, let's get to some data
Let's
here.
do it.
And I still have my take on the hot metals. Okay, so I'm not looking for which club goes the furthest. I'm looking for consistency. Because when you're attacking the green, especially with a 7-iron, I want a predictable number that is going to be the most forgiving.
But why is that? Why do you want that? Because if you're at a 7-iron, you want
Yeah.
to be able to have confidence, okay, I can stick this.
Yes. Now, I'm thinking, right around the 190 number,
Yeah.
185 is my ideal 7-iron.
Yeah.
And because of our loft differences, I know one's going further. I think the Mizuno is going to go the furthest because it's the strongest loft. But here's the thing. Now, the hot metal uses a nickel, I think they call it chromoly. Chromoly, is that what it's called? Material on it.
CHROMOLY.
And this literally makes the ball hot. The ball comes off hotter.
Yeah. And goes further, comes
It goes
out faster
further
speed.
and it comes off faster. This proves true. So my ball speed was the fastest with the Mizuno, 112 miles an hour. Okay. The other ones were like 108, 109 miles an hour.
112.6.
Yeah.
So almost
Almost
113.
113. So it literally, true to its name, I think it's a perfect name for it, hot
Yeah.
metal. The ball literally comes off hot. So it comes off the hottest. And so now what I'm looking for is launch angle. I want that at least 17 degrees going up in the air.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking for anything over 40 degrees coming down. So
Yeah.
I want to see what's going to give me an ideal ball flight around 6,000 RPM spin.
Because what you lack in spin, descent angle is going to make up
And
for
I think spin is the least important out of those. I think if you have a super high ball flight, that ball's sticking no matter
Yeah.
what. Okay, so 5,600 RPMs, 18-degree launch angle, so very happy at that launch angle. That's above my goal. Descent angle is 39.5, so I want to be above 40, but it's right there. It's getting close to that 40 degrees. 172 carry with 190 rollout. So it's hitting my numbers, but that's an 18-yard gap.
That's a lot of rollout.
That's a lot of rollout. But here's the thing with my take on the hot metals. This club is hot, and I don't need it to necessarily go that far. Check this out. A couple of them were over 120 mile an hour ball speeds. So I caught a couple.
And you can see that based on the
Hot.
yardage. Look at that.
Yeah.
210 on one, 214
210 and 214. So here's the problem with the hot metals for me.
For you.
They're the most forgiving in the sense that they don't sacrifice yardage.
Yeah.
And they're going to be the hottest, like give you the fastest club head speed. But you are going to have
Ball
a few.
speed too.
You are going to have a few rocket balls in there. So when you absolutely center it, they're they're flying the green 20 yards.
Yeah, why is
30
that
yards.
scary? Describe why that's scary.
Because what if you have a creek behind a green?
Yeah. Or what if you're going for 4-2 with a par 5,
Yes.
and instead of landing it, you go over it?
So for me, they're a little too hot for me. But this is where I talk about how it's important to each individual and what you need. There's a lot of players out there that need the distance. They need the speed because they don't have the speed themselves.
Or their swing is very inconsistent, so they
Yes,
need
and
that.
they need the forgiveness.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I don't need the speed or anything like that. So I'm going to be okay. I think a few shots come out a little too hot for me and doesn't give me the consistency I need.
Yeah.
Now, I have another take on Mizuno before we get to the next irons. I was fitted for these before they released a few models. Mm-hmm. So now...
What are we talking here?
They came out with this guy right here. No, not him.
Yeah, bottom middle.
They came out with this, which is the forged iron. So this guy is not technically part of the hot metal family, and it's 100% forged.
But it is the 923s, right?
923s. It's not as deep. It's a little less forgiving, and it's a 30 degree, so that means I could offset it to 32 degrees, so get it to the number that's better for me. And it's much softer, but not as forgiving. But you're not going to have any of those rocket balls with this. If I were to get refit right now, which I am, by the way, I'm getting refit for my Mizunos, it would be the forged. This is my favorite head for me out of their 8 heads they offer. This is their best one for me.
I like your
And
logic.
it would have better results than the Hot Metal Pro. But I think a lot of the Hot Metal Pro is a much better iron for the general public.
For a vast majority of players out there,
Yes.
the Hot Metal Pro is the sweet spot.
Especially if you're at sea level and you struggle with distance.
Yeah.
That's a long take on the Hot Metal, but that's my take on the Hot Metal.
Yeah. All right, which one do you want next? Let's keep rolling.
For me,
Yeah, we figure we do you and then do me.
Yeah.
So we're not just jumping around.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, let's go to the. Let's go to the Z. It's TR Me.
Yep.
Okay, so my ball speed was. Give me the Srixon. My ball speed was a little less, 110 miles an hour. Actually,
111.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, 111. Let's call it.
110.9.
But my launch angle is better. It's 20.3. Less spin, 5,000 RPMs. But check this out. My descent angle was at almost 2 degrees steeper.
Yeah.
So 41 and change steeperness.
More steeply.
More steep.
Look at this. This is something that stands out to me. 171 carry, so you carried a yard further, average,
Stopped a
and
yard
stopped
shorter.
a yard shorter
Yes.
with less spin.
But also, there's no rocket balls. So for me, if you look at the consistency, the longest one is 200, and the shortest one was the real fatty 177. Take out the 177 because that was I had 2 that were 177 and 176. The last
Very
one.
bottom one, yeah.
Yeah, so about the same roughly.
Yeah.
But look at this offline. I yanked one 30 yards, a couple 30 yards left, but pretty on target.
Yeah.
So pretty good numbers. I like the ball flight the best so far on the Srixon, and it seems to be the most consistent. The shortest one is 176. The longest one is 200. So even on a miss hit, it's only a 25-yard gap.
Yeah.
There's bigger gaps on the Pro.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the Gen 6. Okay, so this one was in the middle, 19-degree launch angle, so a little lower than the Srixon. About the same backspin, 5,300 RPM. So I struggle with my backspin.
Same descent angle.
Same descent angle, almost the same on the rollout too, huh?
Yeah, 173, so a yard shorter.
And same thing, shortest one was 173 or 187, or no,
184.
184 is my shortest one,
180, sorry.
and my longest one was 206. So a little
big
bit
swing
bigger
there.
gap.
Yeah.
So for me, the most
Consistency.
consistent was the Srixon. I'm not going to tell you which one's my favorite.
No, go through. Let me go through the data and then we'll final take.
Sure.
Okay, so 115 ball speed, 116, 5100 spin, 14-degree launch angle. Like Trevor said, with the 7-iron, you want to be between 15 and 17 degree launch. And between 35 and 40 descent. Now, the only way you can kind of get around that descent angle is if you have high spin, right? So if you can hit that low ball flight stinger with a lot of backspin, so it does the 1-2 stop. I, in this case, did not have any of those things. I didn't have ascent angle, I didn't have descent angle, and I didn't have spin.
You need to practice.
Yeah, I need to practice with this club. So there's
But
the 225.
it is the pro series, so it is the least forgiving.
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of tour players will have this in their bag,
On high
granted
irons.
for their 2, 3, 4 irons, but that's saying something.
It's the least forgiving.
Yeah.
And so, although it's a great club, I don't know if it would necessarily. I think it'd be more for mid to low instead of mid to high handicappers.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's keep scrolling. Scroll on down. All right, with the Srixon ZX5, right at 113 ball speed, descent angle was a lot better, 16.4 degree launch angle, sorry. 4,900 spin, so I'm still lacking spin, but my descent angle was much, much better, 36.2. Still not ideal. I'd still like to see that a little higher. 173 to 193, so it's got stopping power, stopping in 20 yards. I think if you're landing on a soft green, that's going to be a lot shorter than a fairway. So still not blown away with those figures. Still need to work on this club, but
Well, and like
great
you had
club.
some that went 216 and you had some that went 172.
Yeah,
Or well, we disabled that one. So one that wasn't a miss hit went 182.
yeah,
That's a huge gap
Huge
in
gap.
yardages. Same thing. You haven't spent a lot of time with those.
no. PXG Gen 6. Ball speed was by far the highest, 116.6. Ascent angle or launch angle, 13.9, so not great. But I make up for that in spin, right? Just below 6,000 spin, 5,700, and descent angle is 34.3. Rollout was almost identical to the Srixon, but if you look, we didn't have to disable a single shot with this club.
No, but you play with those clubs.
I play with these clubs weekly.
If I would say Tate just stays more to the Gen 6s and he just is always hitting them. I feel like I tinker a lot more, so I've been hitting all three of these
You're
more.
very analytical. You
Yeah.
love the numbers. You love the figures.
I'm hitting all three of these brands almost every day.
Yeah. And I hit my Gen 6s every day.
Okay, so which one do you want to be in the bag? Which club do you want to be in the bag?
Can I be a little arrogant here?
Yeah.
I want the Mizuno Pro 225 in the bag,
Why?
and it's my favorite club personally, just by choice. I love the brand Mizuno, and that club looks the best to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the start of the season, it successfully will be in my bag.
Okay. What's
Club
gonna
should
be in
the bag. For right now, for the foreseeable future, is the Gen 6.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. I'm not putting up the numbers with any other club. Not by choice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to not have another club going to bat, but
Yeah.
right now it's the Gen 6.
And we're not doing our full what's in the bag summer
No.
video yet because we still are not done with our fittings.
Yeah. We actually have a tee time tomorrow morning, so we're figuring out what we're teeing off with tomorrow.
What's going in the bag tomorrow, not for the
tomorrow.
season,
Yeah.
for tomorrow. For me, I think what I want to be in the bag is the Srixons,
Uh-huh.
and what's going to be in the bag is the Srixons. They're by far the most predictable for
Wow.
me. I had the best yardages as far as gaps and yardages. They give me just the. I'll say this: if I were to close my eyes and hit, which isn't a good idea,
No. I don't know that you could.
Feel-wise, I can't tell a huge difference off of the face between the Mizuno and the Srixon. They almost feel identical.
Yeah.
It's that Japanese forging.
Yeah.
Japanese are very good at forging. They've been making samurai swords for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's brand 1 and 2, I think, in irons.
Yeah. And there's a reason. Like they just know how to forge iron clubs, both
Yeah.
brands. And so the Srixon's going in the bag for me. It gives me the best of everything. I think aesthetically it's pleasing. I like the top line. I like the feel. It gives me enough soft feel, enough forgiveness, but I could get good feedback from the club. I like the way it looks. I love the data it gives me.
Can I say something too? Watching, I've seen you hit this on the simulator a ton, and I've seen you hit 2 rounds with these irons. And in the last handful of seasons, probably 4 or 5 seasons, this is the best struck iron I've seen you hit.
My new Srixons?
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like when we got into Srixon, as a brand we're carrying here at the store, I'll be honest, it wasn't like, I wasn't overly thrilled that we even got it. I hate to say that, but
No,
I
and it
never
wasn't
thought of
that.
Srixon as
It was
like a
more
sexy
selfish.
brand.
Yeah, like it wasn't going to, you love it on the shelf, but it's not a bag like that you're seeking out for yourself.
And I'm in love with the brand.
Yeah.
It just turned out to be an awesome, awesome product.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really strong brand that gets overlooked a lot.
I think out of all the bags that we've hit and messed around with and been fitted for, Srixon would be the easiest to go club to club.
That's for a later video.
Sorry.
Anyways, I will say this. I think these are the 3 best irons made for that combine forgiveness, looks, playability, feel for mid-handicappers.
Yeah.
And if you're not looking at one of these 3, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Or if you're looking for irons and at least one of these 3 aren't in your
Conversation, you're doing the wrong
choice,
research.
you need to do some different research because one of these 3 brands should be considered no matter what.
Yeah. All right, what's our giveaway?
All right, Trev, you know what time it is. It's giveaway time. What are we giving away in this video?
We got in our limited edition, I don't know if they're Hawaiian or Masters hats, the Srixon hats.
Yeah.
So we're going to give away a limited edition Srixon hat. They're sold out on the website.
Chris is going to put a nice overlay for you. We'll reach out to you. You get to pick one of the 4 different floral designs. They're pretty sweet. Yeah.
But the winner we have to announce was for the Srixon 12-pack of balls.
Yeah.
And
well, it's actually 11 balls and 1 demoed ball because it's the one that we tested.
Yeah. And,
So, you'll have 12 balls,
and a
one-
Srixon glove.
Yeah.
And the winner is?
Mason Delsart. Trev, what was his comment?
Love the Green Bay Packers rep. Well, Mason,
Well,
we
Mason,
love
we love
giving
you.
you swag.
Oh.
Ooh, check this out. Speaking of Green Bay Packers,
Mason, you're going to love
just
this.
got these. Just got this wedge in. It's my Green Bay Packers custom high toe wedge. So I did green and yellow, and then look at those numbers. Got my just you take, get out of the way. Got my 3 quarterbacks on there: 15, 4, and 12. 12's a sensitive subject right now.
Yeah.
But
It won't be in a
my
season
custom
or two.
weight, custom made high toe. I don't know if it's going in the bag though.
No, I don't know.
So, anyways, we'll send you those, and make sure you stay tuned for more videos.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next
Mason,
time.
hit us up.
Oh, what do you have to do for the next giveaway?
Oh, yes. To win the giveaway, Mason, you did it successfully. Good job, my friend. You have to like the video. No, you don't even have to like it. You just have to subscribe to the channel, and you have to comment in this video. So if you want to win one of the Srixon hats, you need to be a subscriber, and you have to comment in this video because that's where the winner's going to come from.
Yep. See you guys next time.